Welcome, you guys. Happy Sabbath to another Bible story. Today we're talking about the temptation of Jesus Christ. But before we do, let's have a word prayer. Heavenly Father, we invite your presence to come be with us as we read your word and get strengthened by the power that's found in Jesus' name. Alrighty, guys. Well, let's turn to the book of Mark, chapter 1. Why do we start Mark chapter 1? Because there's something really interesting there. Verse 12, look what it says here. And immediately the Spirit drove him into the wilderness. Remember, we had the story about Jesus being baptized. Well, immediately after his baptism, after the Father said, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased," immediately, that's how Mark puts it. Immediately the Spirit drove him into the wilderness. Verse 13, and he was there in the wilderness 40 days, tempted of Satan, and was with the wild beasts, and the angels ministered unto him. So now I'm going to invite you to turn to the book of Matthew chapter 4. Beginning with verse 1. And it says, "Then was Jesus led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil." Verse 2, "And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward an hungered." So after the baptism of Jesus, he went to the desert to be tempted. And how many days was he there? 40 days. Let's follow along. And then it says, verse 3, "And when the tempter," who is the tempter? The tempter, who is it? It's the devil, right? "Came to him, and he said, If thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread." How many stones we have here in our felt board? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He says, "Command that these stones be made" what? Bread, right? But because remember, after 40 days he was hungry. He had no drink, no water, only angels came and ministered, but there was no food for him because he had to overcome. Well, we'll talk about that a little later. So what does God say? Okay, I'm hungry. Let me turn this. I have enough power from the Father and his own power to come and turn the stones into bread. But did he do that? No, he didn't. There's a reason why. Let's keep on reading. "But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God." We're not just to live by what the flesh says. Just like we learned that the brain is the leader of the body, so the body, the whole body, the other organs are submitted to the brain. What's right and wrong? This in this brain we would make our decisions. The same way Jesus Christ says we're not supposed to just live by bread. He was obeying the mandate of his Father. Let's continue. Number 5, this is another temptation. It says, "And the devil taking him up in the holy city and setting him on a pinnacle of the temple." Pardon my improper pronunciation. So here we have the pinnacle of the temple. And we have here this angel as Lucifer. You can imagine how high that was. And what happens? What does the devil say? Let's read. "And the devil taking him up into the holy city, and set him on a pinnacle of a temple, and said unto him, If thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone." As you can see, the temptations continue to say if. And if you're saying if, that means you have a doubt. Then Lucifer did not recognize or did not want to give the homage due to the Son as the God of God. And his questions were, if you are, but he is. You know that. So he's on the highest pinnacle of the table, and can you imagine how high? And he tell him, throw yourself down, the angels are going to get you. But that would be what? If you would listen to the voice of the devil, that would be what? Presumption. Presumption means, oh, I think he's right, but I know it's wrong. He's doing something wrong, thinking it is right. That is what presumption is. He said, no. What was the answer of Jesus Christ? Let's read. Jesus said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. The next one, verse 8. Again the devil taking him up into an exceeding high mountain and showing him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. Right now we're going to put a pause and we'll be right back with our Bible story. Continuing on verse 8. Again, the devil taking him up into an exceeding high mountain. What is the highest mountain that you know, little children? Have you guys heard some really good names of mountains? I heard like Mount Shasta, but that really is not the highest. Also, I think it's called Everest, another one. There's many mountains that are very high. But right here, he's taking, I guess, to one of the highest ones in this desert. So let's continue. Look what he says. And he take him up into the exceeding high mountain, and showed him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them. And he said unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. So can you believe it? Up behind a mountain, he's able to see all the beautiful castles, the mansions, the earthly mansions. They're never going to compare to the heavenly ones. All the beautiful cities that they were there. And the devil says, all of this will I give you if you worship me. What is Jesus going to say? Oh, I want that room, I want that house, I want that. No. What is the answer of Jesus Christ? Let's read. Verse 10. Then said Jesus unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Wow, interesting. The Lord, everything how he conquered the temptations was with what? As thus saith the Lord. This book is meant for us to be overcomers. And this is where the gospel is, which has the power of God into salvation. Then what happens after that? Let's read in verse 11. Then the devil left him, and behold, angels come and ministered unto him. Why was it so important for Christ to be tempted on these things? Who are we supposed to worship? God only. And God is the Word. What do we learn from this? Number one, we're only supposed to worship God. Number two, why couldn't he make the stones into bread? He had the power because he was in a temptation. He was consecrating himself to God, and that's where the devil came and attacked him. But basically what I want you guys to notice is that he was overcoming appetite. What was the thing that made Adam and Eve fall? Appetite. What happened? The serpent offered them that fruit, right? The forbidden fruit. But yet indeed, what happens? Eve went over there and ate of the fruit. And then she brings it to her husband. And so just like Adam and Eve felt appetite, so that Christ has to come on this earth and overcome appetite. So he can be our perfect example. Christ came with this sinful flesh, but never sinned, and to come victorious. Yes, that is what God wants us to be, victorious too, like him. So I hope you enjoyed this Bible story. Continue to be with us as we now look upon Christ and choosing the disciples.